An exciting and award-winning educational initiative. Partners for Possibility is the flagship program of Symphonia for South Africa. It partners business leaders with school principals in under-resourced areas to build their leadership skills. Symphonia says to date more than 1,600 principals and business leaders have benefited, and more than 600,000 students across South Africa have been impacted by this project. Tonight we can introduce you to a school principal and a business leader, and let's see how this is all working out on the ground. Welcome to Dr. Lindiwe Ginya, who is the principal of the George Khosa Secondary School in Dobsonville in Soweto, and Frank Terblanche is a divisional director of Liberty Group. Welcome to you both. So this sounds very interesting, taking time out in a very busy schedule to chat to each other. How can you learn? How can you share? Let's start with you, Lindiwe. How did you find out about this and get involved?
Thank you so much, Francis. So I got to be involved with Partners for Possibility through a friend who attended it, and then she shared it with me, and I went to their program. And so what they do there, they partner you with a business manager. So that's how we got to meet with Frank, and I was introduced to Frank, and we studied from there, and that's how we got involved. So
you meet a divisional director from Liberty. Has Frank changed your mind on or surprised you in any respect?
Definitely. So what happens is, in a school setup, you are not exposed to business opportunities. So meeting with a business partner has also assisted us in making sure that we run a school as a corporate. We're looking at the product, the end product that we want to achieve as a school, meaning it's the academic results in this instance. And
instead of the bottom line, it's results.
And the human resource, it's a very important aspect in the school because we deal with kids and the staff members. So that's what we also get from the business part of having a business partner who assists you, especially the financial management of how you run the school, because there's also finances involved in the school. So it's not only about the curriculum, but it becomes an institution as a whole that becomes progressive through this partnership.
Frank, how and why did you get involved?
I'm fortunate that my employer is very involved in the educational support programs, and I stuck up my hand. Said I want to be involved in this program. In our organisation, we've probably had 15, if not more, partnerships, which Liberty fortunately sponsors, and as I said, they're quite involved in the educational drive. So it was an easy fit. I got involved because I felt I needed to do something more than just sit behind a desk and try and drive the economy through revenue.
So how does it work? Do you often go to the school? Do you ever go to Liberty? Do you meet somewhere in between?
It's probably a combination of the two. The first year was very structured, so we get paired with a mentor, and we get together once every month with all the other partnerships in our circle. And there's 3 formal programs where we break away and we sit in a boardroom, in a classroom for a day, and they teach us about communication skills, how to listen, which is something we don't do in senior management. They teach us about fundraising and all kinds of interesting stuff. So the formal program is a year long, and we've continued for another 18 months or so since, which has been very much informal and on Lindy and my...
okay, so you get help in this relationship, and then you can continue it on an informal basis if you wish.
Correct.
Yes. Frank, I've spoken to Symphonia before, and the idea perhaps is that business, yes, can come in and say, let me help you run your school efficiently. But apparently business leaders learn a lot themselves. Do you feel like that?
Absolutely. I've been quite touched by the whole evolution, my own evolution. Better understanding, I've been very privileged, very isolated, and getting exposure to the realities of modern day challenges in the township and social challenges is a privilege, and I've greatly benefited personally from the journey. As I said, my management style has improved. I listen more than I used to, and I think the diversity in a school where you've got to manage a very large resource base with very few skills and very little support is something that we certainly not used to, certainly not in my environment. So I've personally benefited from it immensely. And as I said, it was a great privilege to give, and the benefits of giving is immense. I didn't realize how much personal satisfaction comes with contributing to society or to your community.
That's wonderful. And can you give us practical examples where you can learn from a businessman how to run a school better?
So what happened is, when you get to be appointed as a principal, there's a lot of skills that you don't get to be trained on until you are practically in the business or doing the job. So
it's often teachers who move up.
Yes, so you get promoted, then you get promoted to leadership. So my experience with Frank was that you then go to the corporate and then you get to understand how to run the organization. So the human resource part has improved a lot. Like again, I said, the financial management and on how to run the limited resources that you have as a school, but to ensure that
how does it change? Are you telling your teachers to work overtime, or how practically does it work?
So you tell your teachers that for the improvement of the quality teaching and learning, you don't necessarily need money, but you need commitment.
Yeah.
You need a drive to make a change in the learners' lives. So you get to understand that, especially through the PFP, the Partners for Possibilities workshops, you get to understand how to run a school. For instance, there's a course that we undertended on time to think. It assisted me as a leader of the school to ensure that we change the direction of the school, we change the vision of the school by listening to the learner itself on what the learner wants to achieve at the end of the day, and not only always imposing as leadership or as teachers. So it does help a lot to be a part of the Partners for Possibility. It assisted my management style and my leadership style as a principal.
That's lovely. Do you think you're more aware of maybe performance management of teachers, things like that?
Yes, I am more aware. So the school is now data driven, if I must say that.
Okay.
So you get to decide on how you want to run the school based on the data that you've collected, which is something that I've learned from the Partners for Possibilities as well. And it also assists the school to also measure how far are you in terms of achieving your goals and achieving the vision of the school, which is to provide better quality teaching and learning.
We always say in South Africa there's a mismatch between the skills that are being produced even in varsity and what business actually needs, the skills that's required. This isn't about matching that, Frank. It's more about leadership, but that is also very important, isn't it?
Lindiwe underplays the role that she played in transforming the school. When I met her almost 3 years ago now, she had a vision. She had a vision for the school, and it was to emulate a Model C school in the traditional sense. And considering the resources, considering the environment, the morale of the school, it was going to be a very difficult challenge. Through her motivation and management skills, she got the teachers on board, she got the scholars on board, she got the community on board. And suddenly what was a very mediocre school, almost an underachieving school, is now a beacon of hope and success. And that was achieved through leadership.
So marks have gone up.
Yes, so when we started the school in 2015, we were sitting at 69.9. Remember, the high school is rated according to the grade 12 results. Yes. So we're sitting at 69.9. Marks went up in 2016 to 84.4%.
Wow.
And 2017, we are sitting at 93.4%. But for 2018, we are gunning for 98% with better bachelors, with quality results. So this is what we are working towards as a school.
This is wonderful. So congratulations to you both. Let's end off with, I don't want to bring it down, but we're trying to figure out what's wrong with education in South Africa. So through this experience, I'm sure you've thought about this. There are kids who are coming out of school. They're not prepared. We're throwing money at this problem. What do we do?
So I'll give you a practical example. So I've got kids that qualified to go to university. One of them is doing medicine. And one of them is at the University of Stellenbosch. So the basic things like the skills, the computer skills, it's something that we need to have. So like again, I'm saying, we don't need money. We don't need to be pampering money to the education system, but we need to better the skills of the management, because I strongly believe that the success of a school rests on the shoulders of the leadership. Not the leader as a principal, but the leadership. Remember, the school has got school management team. So if we can better skill the school management team we can get it right. But if we keep on giving money and we don't know how to, we don't even train our leaders on how to use that money, we'll never get it right.
Which is about human resources, like you were saying. Do you agree, Frank?
I do. I also think we've got to get involved. This is the future of our country and the future of our children. So to Mamina, we've got to stand up. Everybody can contribute. And I think the days where we believe it's other people's problems are over. We're either going to all succeed or we're all going to fail. And it starts with the schooling. If we don't get it right at school level, we're not going to produce future leaders and future wealth for the nation.
And this to me just shows how powerful the private sector can be in getting involved in education. Yes. Thank you both. What a wonderful story. That was Dr. Lindiwe Ginya, who's the principal of the George Khosa Secondary School in Dobsonville in Soweto, and Frank Terblanche, a divisional director of Liberty Group. They've teamed up through Partners for Possibility.